Hey guys, Scrublord here, and welcome to another episode of Scrub Souls. In this episode, we are going to be going through the Irithyll Dungeon and the Profaned Capital with my SL1 character. I kind of went off on a tangent during this one to try to get more chunks and stuff, and I go ahead and take off towards the Archdragon Peak and the Great Belfry as well. But I think I'm going to split up the two videos, both for continuity's sake and because it'll make the video too long if I try to include basically 4 separate levels in one video. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Irithyll Dungeon, and I'll point out what I think is important for a level 1 character, and basically we're going to be running through most of it. If you're embered as you're entering the Irithyll Dungeon, you're going to get invaded by Alva, Seeker of the Spurned. And I wouldn't mess with him. He doesn't really have anything that you can use or want, and he's probably going to kill you anyway. Yep. Ooh, but that would make a nice thumbnail. You don't actually have to fight anything down here. You'll want to take out this Mimic in order to get your Estus Flask shard. But for the most part, I just ran through. I did open the one shortcut in case I had to come back through. And at this point, you're going to have to make a decision. Are you going to kill the giant? Are you going to run past it? You've basically got 2 options. There's a door you can drop to and just kind of cheese him through that door by running in and out. You can stand over by where the rats are and try to cheese him with a crossbow, or you can go down to his feet and run in and out of the hallway, taking out the rats to cheese him that way. This would be the first method. Just jump down here, step out this door, shoot him with a crossbow, step back inside the door, and you can take him out that way. It takes a long time, but it works. However you decide to take out the giant, make sure you get him gone, because that'll open up the area. Not only are you going to get 2 chunks, one from the crystal bug by his arms and one from the giant itself, but the other drops that are down there by the rats, and it'll allow you to talk to Sigwart in order to keep his quest line going. After you've talked to Sigwart and opened the elevator shortcut back to the main bonfire, you want to come get your key and the Dark Clutch ring from this Mimic, and it's probably a suicide mission. Chances are the cursed frogs are going to take you out. When you get past that area, of course, you're going to come to the entrance to Archdragon Peak, and I would go ahead and do this right away for a couple reasons. One, you're lighting the bonfire, so you've got somewhere to teleport to. And number 2, there's a lot of chunks and stuff in this area, and especially the first area isn't very difficult. You know, you can do the plunging attack and just kill the wyvern. It doesn't matter that you're SL1. Racing up there can be kind of a challenge, and you might die a few times, but overall it's not a terribly difficult area. I will include this area in a separate video, however. After you've killed the wyvern, if you so choose to kill the wyvern, there are really only 2 things in this area that you need to grab when you stop back. One is the coal that is in this room, and then the other is the Xanthus ashes, but we don't have the key to get in there yet. We won't get it until later. Once you get to the Profaned Capital, you're not really going to do too much fighting. There isn't much here. Just kind of try to race through and, well, see if you can do so without dying like that. Fortunately, you're a persistent player. If you weren't, you wouldn't have gotten it this far. So go ahead and run back, talk to Gilligan here, or say, pay your respects, I suppose. Hit your bonfire, and we've really only got a couple items that we need from this entire area. The first item that you're going to want from this toxic swamp area is the Curse Bite Ring, which is on the far side of this little alcove. Make your way to the top of the church that has the crazy looking hand ogres. I wouldn't mess with them. There isn't really any reason to. And there's, of course, the NPC invader on this roof. He's quite difficult. I'd probably just go ahead and skip him. You don't need Logan's scroll for anything anyway. Probably the best bet is to just run away from him, jump through the window, and go talk to Sigwart to get your first slab of the game. This guy ended up killing me twice, so after I had everything I wanted from this area, I went ahead and took him out, I think because I was just feeling a bit salty. go ahead and kill the hidden jailers back here and get the key. That will give you access to the cells earlier in the dungeon, one of which holds the Xanthus ashes, which is important to pick up because it allows you to purchase gold pine resin from the handmaiden back in the Firelink, and gold pine resin is going to come in pretty handy. So I guess we're ready for the boss of this area, Yhorm the Giant. I decided, much like my Wyvern fight where I tried to do it without doing the plunging attack, that I was going to kind of create a special challenge for this one. I've never killed Yhorm without using the Storm Roller, and that's what I wanted to do. I don't recommend it. You know, if you've never done an SL1, if the reason you're watching this video is because you'd like to try an SL1, save yourself the frustration. You've already gone through Pontiff and Aldrich. You probably struggled with that. It would be nice to have an easy one, and of course Yhorm is an easy one as long as you use the Storm Roller. But this video is going to be me killing him without the Storm Roller, and it took me a lot of tries, and I changed up my gear several times, watched quite a few videos from different players. 23 Edsa and Silver Bullet 993 were the two big ones, but we'll go ahead and take a look at that fight a little bit more in depth here. Of course, if you do want to try this without the Storm Ruler, the first thing you're going to have to do is let Sigurd die and run back down here. And that isn't really too difficult. If you just run away from the boss, eventually it will kill Sigurd. He can't fight it on his own, although he makes an excellent ally. I turned off my HUD to watch the fight in theater mode. I was surprised. Sigurd did get Yhorm to the second phase, but it looks like that's about it for him there. Again now, at this point, if you are planning, or you would like to try to do Yhorm without the Storm Ruler, I would go ahead and make a save file, because you're probably going to switch up your gear. I'll show you what worked for me. It's not necessarily what's going to work for you. It's not necessarily what some of the other people have used in order to kill him with an SL1 character without the Storm Ruler. So make a save file so you can play around with stuff. That way you don't waste a slab on a weapon that ultimately you decide just didn't work for you. It's also not a bad time to go ahead and go past the Wyvern and head all the way to the Great Belfry. Not only because there are a lot of chunks and items that you can pick up in this area, but because you'll be able to get the Dragon Chaser's axe as well as a slab from Havel. Just run up and grab it from him, and that's going to allow you to play around with your weaponry a lot more. And play around with my weaponry is what I did, and quite a lot. I first tried a lightning infused broadsword, and that wasn't working for me. And then I tried a Stora's straight sword, which is how Silver Bullet had just an amazing minute-and-a-half kill on this guy. But he's way better than I am. That wasn't working for me either. Then I tried the reinforced club after a tip from 23 Edsa, and that wasn't working for me great either. But I think the reason that wasn't working is I was still trying to attack the arms, and you don't want to attack the arms here. You want to go for the head. That's where you're going to get your staggers. When he does this slam, you want to run up and try to hit him in the head, like that. So basically I'm just spending the fight running in between his legs, trying to bait out this one attack so I can get these staggers and then go ahead and take your riposte. You should be able to hit the head a couple times for some extra damage there, but I often mess it up. At any rate, this is the winning run, so if it's messed up, so be it. I did manage to kill him finally. But this was a really frustrating fight. I learned a lot about the fight and the mechanics of the fight while doing the fight. It wasn't something that I completely learned by watching videos, nor will you. You're going to have to get in here and just try to do it in order to get the right strategy down that works for you. Now, when Yhorm does those nasty shouts, he'll give you just enough time to stand up, generally. Looks like he kind of pushed me with his sword from the back. I'm surprised that didn't kill me, or whatever. But he'll give you just enough time to stand up. And then, once in a while, he'll have one that he does not give you time to stand up. And I'm not sure what the mechanics are there. If it's just a little bit of a different follow-up, or I'm screwing something up. But basically, just try not to get off your game. Just all the way through first phase and second phase is the same thing. Bait that attack, try to hit him in the head. Okay, so now when Yhorm goes to his second phase, he becomes a little bit more aggressive and he gains maybe a couple extra moves, but he's not really all that different. You're not going to change your strategy much. I will say this, if you get screwed up like I was there and things weren't what I was expecting to see, just run away from him and try to reset him. You would think that fire does damage to you. It does not, however. So as you can see here, same strategy for the second phase, just trying to hit him in the head again. Now at this point I'm able to go ahead and get the stagger, but I don't take the riposte right away, which is the way you should do it. And the way I did that was to use the strong attack rather than R1. I'm using R2 because R2 won't riposte, only R1 will. This is pretty frustrating at this point. Of course, I realize I've got him within a sliver of his health and he just won't give me an opening here. And then I miss the ones that I do have. Oh my god. Seems like I have him down to one hit for so long. Look at that. Oh, but eventually he goes down. And that was pretty satisfying. That was one of the tougher fights I've ever done. You might not find it that difficult. I think that it's very, very patterned, and maybe it's just my gameplay made it more difficult than it needed to be. So anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and check back to see my other video. I'm going to go ahead and show the Archdragon Peak and up to the Great Belfry. I'm not going to take on the Nameless King quite yet because I want the Hunter's Ring from the Grand Archives before I do that. But thanks for watching.